want to say is that they don't really care about us, but I do care about you. Good morning and welcome to Rapid Dawn. It is a beautiful Thursday morning with so much excitement in the air. It has been a very beautiful morning, and I would love to share that morning with you. How are you doing? My name is Cynthia Agbo, and of course, Ugo.
Hi.
I don't understand why you're not excited this morning.
Hi.
What's that supposed to
I'm not
mean?
the one with new earrings, so.
Uh, wait, I
Good
didn't
morning.
say anything. Oh,
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, Thursday. Thank God it's Thursday. So maybe that's why we're throwing it back a little. The Michael Jacksons and a couple of songs from back in the days, trying to refresh your memory, as it were.
absolutely. So it is a beautiful Thursday morning, and today we're just gonna be focusing on cheerful, happy things. Okay. Except maybe for the papers, but the goal. I mean, come on. We all know that when it gets to national dailies, there are so many things happening in the country. And one of the things that we like for you to always take out from Rapid Dawn is that happy, cheerful feeling. We try to make sure that we keep you in a state of positivity, bringing you issues from a positive side. It is, if you want to focus on all of the craziness happening in the world, you might just go boof.
There are positive stories on our national dailies. It's just that somehow I don't know if
They are
it's
not the big stories.
consciously or unconsciously we've found a way to filter those stories, and we just focus on the ones that make us go gaga, make us go crazy. When it's a story about electricity hike, scarcity of fuel, non-payment of salaries, or violence somewhere, everyone is screaming, 14 soldiers have been
Oh
murdered,
my God.
things like that. Everyone is big focusing on those stories, but there positive things happen.
And I think that I don't know what is going to be done about that, but yeah, in as much as you want to focus on the big story, most times we have those positive stories, and they are usually very tiny on one side, while the crazy ones are
You need
usually,
some microscopic lens to be able to
and then
see them.
sometimes when you read through the papers, you discover that you have so many interesting stories inside the paper that were not even on the headlines. So yes, I believe that if we just look deeper, you see some positivity. But
What
on the morning show, we don't want you to look deeper to find positivity. We want you to just find the positivity right in front of you. Isn't that easy?
what did they say again about bad news? The fact that it sells way faster.
Anyway,
Yeah.
here we're giving you good news that's going to sell faster.
Believe that.
All right, so now it is important, to first of all take care of your health. I mean, we always like to make sure that you pay attention to your health. And talking about your health, we're going to be introducing something pretty good, very soon. That is about fitness. So maybe you got to just keep your mind ready. You're going to learn new ways to take care of yourself in terms of your physical fitness, the little things you can do in the mornings before you step out of the house, okay? Or maybe you could even do some of them in the office, depending on the nature of your workspace. You could just, stay one corner and or go somewhere around and do it, and just keep yourself active. All right, so but for this morning on health and wellness, we will be looking at your heart. Now, most times you get to hear, oh, this person had a heart failure, this person had a heart failure, he's having heart failure, or some persons have lost loved ones, family due to heart failure and the likes. And so, but most people don't really understand when doctor says heart failure. And sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't really get to start explaining what heart failure is. And so this morning, we're going to be talking about heart failure on health and wellness. And it's going to be more about what heart failure is, what to do about it in the next 5 minutes. We'll be right back. A little about the heart failure. What happens when your heart fails and why is it failing? So, but it's always good to seek medical help. I mean, if you notice anything, just try to seek medical help and don't start guessing. Don't go to the pharmacy. Don't go to the pharmacy and start telling the pharmacy attendant that I'm feeling a particular pain in my chest. No.
Find something for me.
Find something for me. So I went to the pharmacy to get something one time, and I knew what I wanted to get. So I asked her for it. She gave it to me. But then I realized that she just gave it to me without how to take it. Nothing.
Oh.
So am I now the one to figure out how to take the medication? That was the last time I ever bought medication without a proper medical person there, either the nurse or the pharmacist, or I mean, not attendant. Nah.
It was probably an oversight, because usually when you go to the pharmacy, first of all, you're not supposed to ask for medicine without a prescription of a doctor. There are some pharmacists where they have, what's the word now? Supervisors who are not just pharmacists, who are more qualified in terms of medical practice. Yeah, so those ones, when you talk to them, explain whatever it is that you're noticing, they can prescribe. And this is even in not all the cases, depending on what your complaint is, depending on what symptoms you are
feeling.
Yeah, feeling. So there are some things that you bring to the pharmacy and they tell you, you have to go see the doctor first.
Absolutely,
in fact, there are some medicines that you ask for and they say you have to come with a doctor's prescription. Because, I mean, they can't just give you something like that without confirmation from a higher authority.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but, I mean, we have a lot of, what's the word now, quacks. A lot of pharmacists who are not even with certification. And that's really, really sad. It's definitely one of those issues that the Nigerian Medical Association, the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, and all the regulating bodies need to pay more attention to.
Yes, they're actually doing that. There was a webinar we attended some time back. I think that was late last year, early this year. We attended that, and it was a measure between the pharmacists in Nigeria and pharmacists in the US, and they were talking about, you know, medication, this sort of conversation, and you realize that a lot of times they are doing their part in terms of awareness, enlightenment, and the likes, but we just have stubborn persons. Trust me. You know, you just have stubborn persons. I remember one time I went to a pharmacy. Like, this is not a, mind you, we have chemists and we have pharmacy. They're two different things. Yes. Yeah. So I went to a pharmacy. Like, I mean, when you go to that pharmacy, you see, okay, by all, like, okay, this meets like a pharmacy standard. And I went there. I got what I went there to get quite all right. There was no problem. But then I saw a medication, and it was for women. You know, so I saw it there, and I'm like, oh, what is this for? Do you know what the lady told me?
Yeah.
That I should Google it. I'm serious. Like, I'm not making this up.
Oh, my God.
She told me to Google it. That don't I know this medication? I told her, yes, I know this medication. I've been seeing it in lots of pharmacies. It is for women.
That was rude.
But she apparently doesn't know.
No, I don't think it's a case of her not knowing. I think she was just being really nasty.
She told me it's for women. She told, and yes, I could see it's for women. She said, oh, it's for women that, don't I know what it is? She didn't say it in a rude manner. She was more like, I didn't, I mean, for someone like myself, I could tell when someone is being rude and nasty, but that was not just, I think that was more of ignorance. She didn't know that you're not supposed to tell me to Google it. You're not supposed to tell me, I see a medication in your shelf and you tell me to Google it. So I think I raised that concern when we attended that pharmaceutical webinar. I raised that concern, and the pharmacist head here in Nigeria was like, what? I said, yes. I told him, I said, if you tell me to show you the pharmacist, I will show you the pharmacist. Chike, it was crazy. So, I mean, when it comes to our medical pharmacists and the rest of that, they really, 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 really need to do a lot. You need to really check out people who are opening pharmacies. Are they well registered? Do they have the necessary qualification? Do they put the right people there, you know, to look after their business / medical fitness place? Do they, what are the things that everything has to be certified? And I think I remember that was what made me, okay, after I attended that program, I said I'm going to be very, very, very vigilant, because there were things that you should look out for if you want to know that a pharmacy is really certified and it has gone through the process. So yeah, I think one of these days we will talk about that as well. We will also get a pharmacist to come to the studio
it is such an
to talk about
important
that
aspect of medical practice that the slightest mistake could lead to the loss of a life.
Absolutely.
Someone who gives you a 500 mg and
when you
writes on the prescription as if it's 250 mg, you're in trouble. So, like, it's a really, really sensitive part of medical practice, and I think we should pay more attention to that.
It is actually very, very sensitive. So, I mean, that was something we took away from our distance. But one of these days, we will find time to really, that's important, we will find time to have that conversation on the show. Maybe sometime next week we would have that conversation on the show and get a pharmacist to come talk about us, either in person or virtually. We'll try to have that conversation on Rapid On. So just try not to miss any of our episodes, or editions rather, next week. All right, so moving on. It is a beautiful, beautiful Thursday, like I told you, with a whole lot of things for you. Now, let's get something. Let's get something. We need to take the papers. What?
All right.
But I don't want any bad news on the papers. But let's take the papers.
That's some positive information ahead of the paper review this morning. Let's very quickly have the papers on the screen.
Okay, so this is the
Daily Times.
Daily Times. Tinubu to judiciary. Undertake reforms for functional justice system. Ooh, this is a positive news. Undertake reforms for functional justice system. Federal government revokes 924 dormant mining licenses as minister decries racketeering. Federal government revokes 924 dormant mining licenses as minister decries racketeering. We have something right there. Federal government addressing root causes of. Can we make that bold a bit, please? Okay, federal government addresses root causes of violent extremism, says counterterrorism boss, and alleged $9.6 billion paid scam. Hearing in EFCC suit against fleeing Britain stalled. All right, and then we have NAF, Nigeria Air Force, joint airstrikes, eliminate terrorists, destroy hideouts. That's some really good positive stories there. And moving on.
Daily Trust is up next. Corruption, undue influence undermining our justice system, coming from the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Tinubu MBA demand judiciary reforms, curb ex parte other abuse, Akpabio tells NJC. Experts weigh in as federal government grounds Dana Air after runway accident. Zulum to military, establish base in Zambisa forest. Poultry farmers lose birds as temperature hits over 40 degrees. That's not a really nice one there. concerns as fuel queues worsen in Abuja, Lagos, and others. And one wonders what could be the reason for this. First, Nigerians have to pay through their noses to get fuel, and now they have to queue up. Wow.
To spend their own money.
Varsity workers demand 350,000 naira minimum wage. We have loans. Kaduna Assembly demands El-Rufai's transactions. Tinubu approves takeoff of consumer credit scheme. All of these stories on Daily Trust.
And now moving on to the first news. On the rivers crisis, again, Wike Fubara returned to the trenches. Ooh, use of words there. Governor Abiodun donates bus to Ogun. NIPR promises office accommodation. Tinubu approves takeoff of consumer credit scheme for Nigerians. And EFCC hands over recovered assets to Enugu government, Governor Mba. Father arrested for taking exam for son. This is on the UTME. That's really sad there. And there's something on Peter Obi.
What if his son was sick or something?
That should have been outlined. I'm not desperate about 2027 presidency, says Peter Obi.
He's never been desperate. That's always been his modus operandi.
Oh, okay. Stop misusing. Okay, let's go back up there. Let's see the story up. Okay, let's just take this one. NCAA slam indefinite suspension on Dana Air. That's a good move, if you ask me. That's a good move. All right, so there's something on the Echo Disco, and then back up. Stop misusing Espate order. Akpabio wants Georges. Let's move on.
The Guardian is up next. Federal government's non-retention policy. Over 5,032 first-class graduates languish amid vacancies in varsities. Okay, and there's a breakdown of those figures on the front page of The Guardian. Currency outside banks up by 300% as economy slips into cash hoarding. That's on the business page of The Guardian. Aviators fault interference as federal government grounds Dana Air operations. Weakest loyalists reject redeployments, resign from Rivers cabinet. Again, Rivers State on the news. Zulum urges establishment of military bases in Zampisa Forest and Mandara Hills. Federal government probes bullying incident at British International School, Abuja. And the EFCC withdraws appeal against other restraining Yahaya Bello's arrest. Details on page 6 of The Guardian.
And moving on to leadership, you would have a story there. Sale of discos. Experts, Labour want debt-ridden firms unbundled. This quiet as PDP holds onto governorship primary today. And there's also something, rainstorm destroys old Suleja prison. Several inmates escape. Wow. Wow. 140-year-old. Okay, so we have PZ cousins consider leaving Africa over Nigeria's sales plunge. Wow, this is not a very good story. El-Rufai probe Kaduna Assembly demands 2015 to 2023 documents. And the president to judiciary give Nigeria a functional justice system. That's a very, very good call. And then we have something. All right, let's just move on to New Telegraph.
New Telegraph is up next. Constitutional amendment. Oyedele Tax Reforms Committee wants defaulters declared unfit for political polls. That story is on the front page of New Telegraph. Says aspirants must fulfill all tax obligations. Sends draft proposal to National Assembly, proposes creation of revenue court and others. And just below the masthead of New Telegraph, Tinubu advocates people economy-centered reforms in judiciary. Hardship not peculiar to Nigeria, coming from Kumuyi. Only God knows who will be alive to contest 2027 poll. That's from Peter Obi. Plateau governor seeks U.S.-Nigeria alliance to end security challenges. And we have a story on electricity. Band B Lagos community decries zero power supply. I mean, if Band A are complaining that since the latest development in terms of tariff hike has now reduced the number of hours that they have access to electricity. What's the fate of those on Band B, Band C, and Band D, and maybe those who are totally abandoned?
Those without bands.
And there are those who are even abandoned. Federal government grounds Dana Air over safety concerns. IT sector has highest number of quacks in Nigeria. Federal government, wow, I wonder how they came to that conclusion. But there's more details on page 7. We'll tackle poverty and insecurity with financial inclusion agenda. That's coming from the presidency. Military, how we doused insecurity in Southeast via non-kinetic means. There's more details of that story on pages 2 and 5 of the New Telegraph. And on sports this morning, on the Punch Sports Extra, we'll have prolific Nigerians who lit up Europe with goals and assists in 2023-2024 season. We'll have pictures of Ademola Lookman, Cyril Desires, Victor Boniface, Victor Osimhen, and is that Nathan Taylor or Gabriel Oshona? Adebayo, yeah, that's the Adebayo of Luton Town. Ten Hag faces 25% pay cut at United. Liverpool in talks with slot for Klopp. And there's a story on Erling Haaland as well, which says Haaland out of Brighton clash later on tonight. De Gea hints a return after 10 months out. Nadal uncertain over French Open. All of those stories on Punch Sports Extra this morning.
Okay, I think that's what we'll take a wrap on the papers this morning. Yes, I think we'll just take a wrap on the papers this morning there, so that we don't see how they're lamenting on the food.
Did you see any positive stories?
Well, I think the papers this morning are a bit soft. Yes. I mean, we see lots of the president saying this, the president saying that, you know, the words for the judiciary. I think we have pretty much a bit of soft stories, not so bad. All right, so up next is sports. I did see a particular headline during sports where it says that there are agitations for 25% cut for Ten Hag. Ten Hag is the coach for Red Devil.
Your coach.
Yes.
25%, I feel, is even too. They are being too kind.
Your man done the run now, Nabi.
They should slash it.
Yesterday you were having.
They should slash it by like 50%.
Yeah,
what is he doing?
Yeah, yesterday you were experiencing. Was it yesterday or on Monday?
What?
No, yesterday you were experiencing less freedom of speech. Today you are having freedom.
These things happen. That's all I can say.
These things take time.
This one
did not take time.
It's a process. It's a process. It's a process.
Okay, so I'm sure you have something on that as to why there are talks of 25% cut. I do not want any 25% cut. And then I think there was some story that I saw, a sports story that talked about. By the way, I realized that I never said a congratulations to the new Super Eagles coach.
There's no coach as of now.
I mean, sorry. What's his name? Remind me his name.
Super Eagles captain.
Yes.
Troost Ekong.
No.
Super Eagles player Victor Boniface.
NFF rather. NFF. The NFF.
Oh,
yes.
the NFF president.
Yes.
Ibrahim Gusau. I mean, he's been busy the last couple of days. So first, NFF talks about, coming up with monthly awards to recognize most of our footballers, both past and present. And then this is something that we have not seen in a long time, where the NFF president visits our players, those of them who got injured. Some of them on national duty and some of them were playing for their club. So you remember that Troost Ekong actually played through pain and injury at the AFCON. So he visited him The other guy, the plays for Porto, Zaidu Sanusi, visited him as well. Moses Simon, while playing for Nigeria in the last international break, got injured as well. In fact, he had surgery and he's been recuperating in France, also visited him. And so those are some of the things that we're seeing and we're like, okay, it does quite look like a different
it's good. But do you think that monthly awards, I would have thought that it would have been more like a quarterly award to help for longer, but monthly.
I mean, in terms of sustainability,
yes.
Yeah, there are concerns about how sustainable is it going to be to organize and properly pull off, award ceremonies every month, unless they do not intend to make it some sort of big event. If it is something that, you know how it is,
just
that
recognize them.
Every month in the EPL, there's Player of the Month and there's Manager of the Month awards, where you just go to the training grounds and you present them with such. So unless that's what they want to do, don't make it so elaborate. Probably focus a lot on the social media aspect of the PR and all of that. But if they want to make it a proper event, like
monthly, I doubt if it's going to be sustainable. And I think that if it were to be maybe like a quarterly thing, it would help for more awareness. It will help for more time to, ring the bells, sound the alarm. And it also help, aside from the planning, it also help in giving the award some wordiness. And not, because when it becomes a monthly thing, like, it will go around fast.
It all depends on what
and the
plan
contest
is.
Wouldn't be there.
It all depends on what the design is, because even as a monthly arrangement, there's still a lot, because I mean, there's a lot of money in football actually. Even as a monthly arrangement, it can be rewarding both for the NFF and those that they want to recognize. Yeah, we could have sponsors jump in on this. We could have television stations who are interested in broadcast rights, as it were. We could have ambassadors, for this sort of thing. So it's a win-win for everyone. It's a win-win for the glass house of the NFF. It's a win-win for sportsmen and women who, some of them, I mean, we have forgotten about. So this is a great opportunity to remember them, recognize them, and then these awards, is it going to just be, oh, you present me an award with NFF Football Personality of the Month? What does it come with? Are you just going to give me a flag? Yeah. I mean, if I am one of those players that helped Nigeria win a trophy back in the days, and for some reason I got injured, I haven't been seeing the best of days. Are you going to help me get back to my feet? Is there an arrangement where someone is presented with an award and a house? Because obviously things have not been going so well for him. So, what's the arrangement? These are all of the things. These are all of the details they need to walk through.
I just think that they should reconsider looking at it quarterly, though. So it will have to have more players. Maybe if you're going to recognize past players and present players, you could say, okay, we're going to recognize maybe, or let's say every 3 months, every 4 months. You can say, okay, let's recognize 5 players. Let the event happen, or let's recognize 4 players. And you already have planned out what you're going to give to these players, courtesy of the sponsors and partners and the rest of them.
There's a lot to look, there's a lot to plan for, there's a lot to arrange for in terms of, you also do not want to make it look like you are focusing on a particular area. For instance, it's not a Super Eagles award. We'll have several other national teams. We'll have the Super Falcons, we'll have the Flamingos, we'll have the Falconers, we'll have the under-20 team for the men, we'll have the under-17 team for the men. And then you're not only going to be focusing on the foreign-based players alone. We have the Nigeria Premier Football League, and we have the Nigerian Women's Premier League. So, you have to be really... there has to be a level playing ground for everyone, yeah?
And that is why monthly... I doubt if that would be. I really, when I saw the story, I was like,
let's at least give them a chance to show us what they have in mind. Let's see.
It won't be sustainable.
Let's even see. I mean, I think it won't be sustainable if they make it a big physical event where, oh, there has to be a physical venue, you have to invite guests of honor and all of those, you know, party things we do here. But I mean, if you make it in such a way that you focus more on the online aspect of it, and you focus more on what is the financial or physical value of the awards that you're presenting, I think it might be sustainable.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to leave Ugo right now because he has more interesting things on sports that he definitely wants to talk about. And so, Ugo, let me go and do something meaningful with my life.
Thank you. Gracias. All right, thank you very much again for joining us on Rapid Sports this morning. Ugochukwu Mahatimere is my name. Quite a lot on the front burner. The Golden Eaglets. We have the FA Cup matches coming up right here, where lots of sides will be doing battle across different venues in the country for the cup competition here in Nigeria. We also have the English Premier League, where it looks like it's going to be a battle between Arsenal and Manchester City, because again, Liverpool faltered like a pack of cards. Liverpool are arsenaling their Premier League campaign this season, as it were. Very quickly, without further getting delay and without much ado, let's get on to the main event. And let's start off with the national under-17 men's team, the Golden Eaglets, who forced Miracle Academy from Abia State to a 1-1 draw in a friendly at the FIFA Goal Project pitch inside the MKO Abiola Stadium here in Abuja yesterday evening. The game is one of the friendlies lined up to prepare the team for the Awafu B on the 17th Cup of the Nations title defense in Ghana next month. The Eagles will begin their campaign in Group B against Burkina Faso, Niger Republic, and Togo. The visitors scored against the run of play, but the Eagles quickly rallied to restore parity a few minutes later to the end of the first half on equal terms. Manu Garaba's team bossed the entire second half, but failed to convert any of the several scoring chances they created. The record 5-time world champions have so far played 3 tune-up matches, winning 1 with 2 draws plus 6 goals scored and 4 goals conceded. They were forced to a 1-1 draw by Ikon Allah Academy, a Kaduna-based football team, on Tuesday evening. Well, for me, I think it's important that the boys are being engaged in a lot of tune-up games. They are being kept active. They are being made to get used, you know, to playing top sides or sides that are at their level, basically. But then again, at the WAFU competition, it's going to be a whole different ball game altogether. So it is our hope that the technical team of the Golden Eaglets, of course, who have been tutored by Manu Garuba, are taking their time to, you know, tutor these boys, let them know, let them take important lessons from these games, because at this point it's not about whether they win, they lose, or they draw. What are the lessons that the boys are taking from the game? How quickly are they taking the tactical lessons that are being dished out by the likes of Manu Garuba and his technical team? Well, I did tell you that the Federation Cup would be getting underway very soon. Now, defending champions Bendel Insurance look to go all guns blazing against Thomas SC of Abeokuta in their President Federation Cup round of 64 tie, starting at 4 p.m. It's going to be happening at Area 3 here in Abuja on the 1st of May. Now, the club's media officer, Kehinde Osaigide, exuded much confidence in a chat with newsmen following the release of the round of 64 fixtures by the Nigeria Football Federation. Now, the Benin Arsenal defeated Enugu Rangers 1-0 at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba last year to lift the trophy, securing them a ticket to the CAF Confederation Cup, which they exited in second round after losing 3-2 on aggregate to Moroccan side ROS Bekane. This year's President Federation Cup at the national level will kick off with the men's round of 64 matches on Wednesday and Thursday next week, according to a release by the Nigeria Football Federation. Now, we have a couple of venues that are going to be hosting the 32 matches. We'll have Abuja, we'll have Kaduna, we'll have Owerri, we'll have Lafia, Oka, Enugu, Benin City, Ibadan, Asaba, Ilori, Aba, and Kano. All the centers to host the 32 matches, which would then produce the teams for the round of 32. Now, the women's team, whose competition will take off from the round of 32, will sit out next week's attrition, but will take to the backward grounds when the men also fight for slots in the round of 16. All right, and well, still talking about Nigerian football, coach of Rangers International, talking about Fidelis Ilechukwu, has come out to say that winning the title this season is not the primary target given to him by his employers. The 7-time champions are currently topping the table with 54 points after 31 matches, 2 points ahead of Enyimba, who are second in the chasing pack, that also have Lobby Stars, Plateau United, and Remo Stars. Now, in case you thought the strategy of mind games was the exclusive reserve of Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, well, sorry to disappoint you. Our own coaches also know how to play the gamble and lottery of mind games. Now, how are you top? I mean, for a time in the season, Rangers went 10 matches unbeaten. You want to tell me that was a fluke? You want to tell me you didn't have title ambitions? Come on, Fidelis Ilechukwu. Let's be serious for once. Rangers definitely are very much interested in winning the title this season. But then again, he says it's not his primary target. It's not a target that was given to him by his employers. And I pity any of the rival teams who will be taking this statement serious. He says, I'm not thinking about the title. Enyimba, Lobby Stars, and Remo Stars are thinking about it. That was coming from Ilechukwu, and I think it's all mind games. Remember, Ilechukwu was appointed head coach of the team. Before the start of the season, he worked with Plateau United last season and had previously managed MFM and Heartland of Owerri. Well, in their last game on Sunday, Rangers were beaten 2-0 by Rivers United in Port Harcourt, which saw their 4-point lead at the top reduced to 2. Their next match is at home against Plateau United at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu, and there is really very little that can stop them from taking maximum points from that particular game. Now, let's move away from Nigeria to Europe and to the English Premier League, where, of course, we saw a lot of matches yesterday at Selhurst Park. It was an interesting one because Crystal Palace defeated Newcastle United by 2-0. Mateta was the man who did damage twice, twice actually in the second half to get the better of Newcastle by 2-0. Now, in what a lot of people would say is a match that would determine who was going to win the Premier League title. For Everton, it was more of a survival encounter, and that was exactly what happened yesterday because Everton, Jared Brett-White, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored in a pulsating 2-0 home victory over Liverpool in the Merseyside derby on Wednesday that could prove to be the death of the visitors' withering Premier League title hopes. Everton's first derby victory, I could say, the end of the season for the 2023-2024 season.
But it's not every day you go to party you spray now.
But there are levels to this thing. There are people that, I mean, how you will know that they came to the party is when they spray. Do you get? But this whole campaign by the EFCC,
it has helped. Oh,
it has helped to bring some sort of what's the word now? Is it decorum? You know, to our events, because we've sort of made it part of our culture to now spray celebrants, whether it's a wedding, it's a birthday, it's a naming ceremony, or a traditional event. We made it a culture to spend. In fact, people do not rate your coming unless you spray them money at the event. You know, but this whole thing now, I think I saw a video online of one of the guests doing a transfer. What's the joy in that?
That's no joy.
What's the joy? But then again, you want to say, maybe the money is going to enter into my account. But you know that feeling of, I'm not saying that was what I used to do.
How will the videographer, you know, video display the money on the ad? There's no joy in the videos anymore.
And they can only capture where you are calling your account number for the guest now. And then
you now say, I just transferred 1 million. It will not be fun.
Yeah.
It will not be fun.
From the people that have sprayed, they used to tell me that when they hold that bundle in their hands, and it's either you go like this, or you go like this, or you go like this, it's really, really satisfying.
Okay, so I think this is a part where people will now start using more of the dummy monies, you know, because
So in case you're picked up, I mean, you can always make the argument in court
that it's not real money.
It's not the Nigerian naira. 'Cause,
Exactly.
That is what this whole thing is about.
But do you know that there's some persons that what they spray is, they've been doing it before now. What they spray is not even the real money, but then they transfer. Because some persons have been complaining that some people steal money when they spray the money, in the parties, and so by the time they go to count the money, it is not what they saw that people sprayed. It's not like it's not compared to what they saw people spray. And then and then I think on several occasions we've had issues of people saying that they sprayed them fake money. But then I think for legit people who really want to come through for their friends during parties, you could spray those dummy monies and then transfer the real money.
In fact, there are
the account.
There are
of the
some celebrants who go as far as printing their own currency, printing the currency they want to be sprayed at their occasions. So what you do as a guest is that if you come and you know the well, according to the amount of money you want to spray, you make a transfer and then they give you a sizable amount of that currency that was specifically printed for that event.
And that's also another style you could use if you still want to have these.
In any case, because a lot of our people, when they do parties, they do it with the hope that somehow they're going to get some sort of return. Some people see it as a business opportunity and investment of some sort. So for you not to lose out entirely, you could actually explore this means. So two things you achieve, that whole aesthetics, that whole atmosphere of being sprayed, you get all of that. And then you also make the money that you intended to make in the first place. Because people would have to transfer first before they are given the physical dummy cash.
But isn't it going to be chaotic?
I mean, if properly planned, with when you put the right people in charge, I do not see any hitches in view as far as I'm concerned. But this has become so much of our culture that China actually produced a money spraying machine for us. We come to parties with it and somebody is shooting you with money. They produced a machine for us to help us spray money. But now the EFCC is stepping in to say, look guys, we have to treat the Naira with some level of respect.
Okay, so you know what happened?
Have you seen anywhere? I'm not talking of here in Nigeria, because even some people go as far as spraying foreign currency. But have you seen any events that they do overseas, whether it's a wedding, a birthday, or anything, and they are spraying?
Yes, they do.
The currency of that country. I'm not talking of African nations now. I'm talking of like them Americas, in the UK and all of that.
Do parties over there and they spray money.
I'm talking of people from over there. I'm not talking of when Nigerians who live in the UK, we would always take our behavior anywhere in the world.
No. It's not something they do regularly. It's very rare.
I have never seen it.
But it's done. It's very rare, very, very. And besides, they don't let such videos, come out. Unlike how we are so proud.
If you tell me it happens in the clubs, in there are parties where people get to,
Yeah, it happens in the club.
Yeah, but I'm talking like proper events, like a wedding or a birthday party. You would never see something like that. So it's a Nigerian thing. It's an African thing, I like to say, yeah? This is some sort of EFCC helping us with some character developments to say, look, you can have money, but it doesn't mean you have to be shoving it in everybody's face.
This one, our culture. This one, our tradition. This one, our tradition. We go spray the money.
Oh my God.
We go spray them carefully.
Carefully now. In bundles.
In bundles. Wait, did we just sit down here and tell people how to get away with a crime? Okay.
I would even suggest, in case you don't have enough bundles, you can hold it like this.
My hands are off.
You will tell the person, or you'll be taking it 1-1.
Oh, yes. Or you could stay close to the person and be giving the person.
Do you get? So that way, you are not matching on the money. You are not throwing it in the air. Nobody is mutilating anything. So you are safe.
And it's quite difficult for we as MCs also, because it's more like you have to let your client know that, please don't do this though, because you're gonna make it hard for you yourself to post that video. Because if you post the video and it's seen, and then they come for your client, you've
Well,
messed
then again,
up.
they know they arrest person where they spray the money. Now the person where they spray the money, they arrest. So if I am an
You are the
MC,
sprayer.
you decide to spray me money, my dear, I am not really gonna fight you. I will allow you to spray. Okay?
No, but then you're putting yourself off.
Okay,
business.
let me give you a quick instance. Do you know how many parties that Segun Johnson has played at? And how he has been, for want of words, ridiculously sprayed money. But have you seen anybody invite him for questioning?
But that's what I'm saying. It is not
So
the
he's
person
there
who
to
is
do
being
his job.
sprayed.
His job is to sing, entertain you, and all of that. So if you now decide by yourself to spray him or not to appreciate him, you have to now do it within the confines of the law, or as honorably as you can.
Now, don't
so
you
if you
think-
decide not to do that, it is not Segun Johnson's fault.
Now, don't you think that is going to be is a part minus, because now let's say people are getting arrested for Naira mutilation, spray, and the rest at an event where you were playing and you were hailing them. Now, what makes you think that you will go for another event and people will even be moved to want to come and show you some love? Even if people that come and show you some love, they might likely not do it. You will not gain as much as you would gain before. So, and that's why if you notice that, like for people like Pasuma, for example, no, not Pasuma. What's his name again? This our Fuji man that did Adeorioki.
Yinka Fele.
Not Yinka. Yes, Kwamwan. Yes, Kwamwan. Now, if you notice, when those chiefs are coming to give him money, they don't throw it, they don't spray it. They come to meet him and they give him by bundles. They give the bundles, and he's, hailing
So
them.
is it a case of, if I don't have bundle, I cannot appreciate an artist or a musician?
For Kwamwan, that has even been going on even before now. Like these chiefs don't throw the money like everywhere. No, they don't do that. They come to meet him, and I think that's very honorable. So I also think that it depends on the personality. For me, if I want to show my influence and all of that, I'm not going to pour the money in the air. Why would I do that? To me, it looks ratchet, kind of. I would go to the person, the celebrant, or the person who is singing for me and is giving me praises and all. I would just be putting it on you, like. To me, that's their fizzy, you know.
So I wouldn't know if it is right to say that this whole thing is going to affect DJs, entertainers, musicians.
It wouldn't affect DJs. No, it will not. Because when they are spraying DJs, what happened? They don't throw it in the air for DJs. They go to their turntable and they put it there. So you're not stepping on it. You're not putting it in the air. So
I think,
you see?
Portable and is it Speed Darlington have come out. They are the first two that have come out to say that they are not seeing money again because people are afraid to spray them money. And, okay, then again, is this going to be sustainable? Or, it started off with Bobrisky. Yeah, in recent times. I mean, they have done that before. I think it happened last year with a certain Lagos socialite. I've forgotten her name now. But, in recent times, they have started this whole campaign with the Bobrisky. And some people felt at the beginning that it was a personal thing that was focused just on Bobrisky alone. But now we've seen a Bobrisky picked up for the same offense. We've seen a Cubana chief priest picked up for the same offense. Who knows the next Nigerian celebrity that's going to be picked up, or even a normal person.
But it's not only celebrities that are spraying this money. We have lots of people that are not even celebrities. Chiefs, people who are big men, big names. They do these things. And I mean, come on. I think that spraying money is also a character thing. I will explain. Have you seen a Tony Elumelu spraying money? Have you seen a Dangote throwing money in the air?
Okay, you see, these are the issues.
Do you get? Have you seen? Have you seen Obi Kubana himself?
Oh yeah, yes.
Have you seen him?
Yes.
No, what they were doing during that time, during his mom's burial, that time, what they were doing that I didn't even like actually was they were using the money to play ball. The bundles.
So there's even instances where they make it like a competition. You spray me, I spray you. And some of them go as far as throwing it. Yeah, and I mean, when you see things like that, you're like, okay. You know, these are some of the behaviors that you see typical of people who do not make money the right way. I mean, people.
I wouldn't say so.
There is that argument that somebody who suffered to make his money, that somebody who puts in the work and legitimately made his cash, you would never see them extravagantly showing off, extravagantly being loud about it. So, I mean, you gave instances. Tony Elumelu, Dangote, Femi Otedola. Have you seen
guys are in the corporate world? Don't forget.
Well, but they
are
have
in the corporate
money.
world. Now the thing is
have the money, and you know there is this kind of audacity. It's crazy, but there's an audacity that money gives you. Or having money, it gives you some level of audacity, and I like to think that these people would want to show that, look, guys, we've made this thing, but. Why do you now think they act with that level of comportment when they go for occasions?
Okay, so I would explain it in two. I'll describe it in two ways. One, it is like I said, it's a character and personality thing. You cannot box a Tony, a Dangote, or an Adenuga in the same box with a Cubana chief priest or even an Obi Kubana. Now, they're in two separate fields and worlds.
I understand that.
Now, but the thing is this.
Go ahead.
Even an Obi Kubana, who is also in the nightlife,
entertainment,
showbiz and all, even though now he's also delving into real estate and the rest, he's delving into things that speak of the corporate world a bit, but he's still in between. Now, that's where the personality and character thing comes. You can hardly find a video of an Obi Kubana spraying, but that's the truth. You can really find that, not because he doesn't have the money to spray, but then. Besides, Obi worked hard for his money. His story is out there. Do you understand? He worked hard for his money. Right from when he came into Abuja as a young core member and all of that. Yes, he's not from a very downtrodden home. Yes, he's not. But he worked hard for his money. And whether he's in the nightlife or entertainment, he worked hard for the money. Now, even the Cubana chief priest you're talking about. Now, I wouldn't say that they don't work hard for the money because it's not easy, even as an entertainer, you know, to travel here, to travel there, getting this brands to come through for you. Now, so there are people that the best way to show what they've worked for is by being lavish and loud about it. While there are others that just have their own way of enjoying their money. So it doesn't mean that they're not working hard for the money.
Showbiz for me, it's all about make-believe. So even for whether it's a musician, whether it's those of them who've gone to Big Brother and come out and suddenly they're celebrities, or for actors and actresses, or for celebrity barmen like the likes of the Cubanas. So there is this thing about showing a level of affluence. So if a Cubana can come to a party, and I mean, you're seeing the bundles of money, and with your mind's eye, you can just do a quick calculation. These people could come to a party with 10 million naira cash, spray it there, finish it there at the party. So for you, who is at the party or who sees the video, wait a minute. If this guy can, in quote, throw away 10 million on the spot without even flinching, that means he's worth a lot more. So both for you And for potential brands who are looking to partner with him, they are now putting him at a certain level. When they are proposing deals, when they are bringing forward certain discussions, you know that you're talking to someone who is of some class.
That's why he tells you that you use money to make money.
But then again, that is a very fantastic idea. The Dangote and the Elumelu that is not showcasing their wealth like that, have they in any way gone down in terms of the advancements they are making in their, areas of interest?
Modus operandi differs. He is in an entertainment world. He's in the nightlife, which is a certain way. This other person, they are in the corporate world. You imagine,
do we not have entertainment executives who do not engage in that flagrant display of wealth? And
let me tell you something. Imagine a potential investor of a Tony or a Dangote sees Tony in the club or at a party doing like this. Let's away from EFCC. I would be irritated. Do you understand?
I would not.
No. Let me finish. Even when Tony hosts his yearly parties, you don't see that. You don't see people spray money in that parties. He brings entertainers. He brings the celebrities. He brings them to the parties. Well, but you don't see the spraying of money.
Maybe I have a knack for men and women who act with some level of panache, who act with some level of swag and finesse when it comes to composing themselves in occasions. Because guess what? For someone like me, you do not even need to spray money to impress me or to paint a certain persona of the kind of person that you are. Men looking at you, I mean, the way that you walk, I can look at your timepiece and I can know that, bro, you're not a small man. Do you get what I mean? I mean, there are things to look out for. When somebody walks into an occasion, you don't need to do much. Go close to them. How do they scent? Look at their timepiece. Look at their shoes. That's how to know. You don't need to come and start throwing money all over the place.
That's what I said. Now, the thing is you answered the question already when you were speaking before. It is what the job is, what their business.
But it doesn't even have to be like that.
No.
Okay.
Do you know?
Let me give you an instance.
How many entertainers?
For the Cubanas now, a quick instance. Is there any brand you think those two would want to collaborate or partner with that they would not get a positive response?
That's what I'm telling you.
They've made the name already. So I mean, what are you trying to prove?
Okay, let me ask you a question.
We know you are a big boy. You know you are made.
Imagine that a Cubana chief priest comes to your party and does a show walk-ins.
Okay,
how would you know?
That's how we put it. Walk-ins, eh?
Imagine, like for example, during Obi's mom's burial, for example, he got a new name, Mazi 46 cow. People were buying 1 cow, 2 cow.
Cynthia,
46 cows.
What if he shows walking by calling me by the side? Ugo, one name via camera get something. Oh yeah, sit down. What's that your account number again? You know, I'll call it for him. And on the spot, like I see an alert of 10M.
How will we know?
Do I want you to know?
Oh,
hello,
no.
I don't want you to know.
No, you don't get it.
I don't want you to know.
You don't get it. Now, how are we going to keep talking about him? Oh, Cubana.
Okay, but guess what?
But guess what? 10 million. How are we going to know?
Then again, I could also do a screenshot to say, see what this guy sent for me.
Nah, it ain't sweet that way, bro. No.
See, anyways, I'm not gonna say anything again. But I think when I eventually make money, I already know how I'm going to be showing walk-ins. When I eventually make it.
My back.
See, you people will not hear word, but it's going to be in a very mature way. Watch out. Fear my return.
Your return. Where you been go before?
Don't worry. You will soon know when I return from Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur. Oh my God. Anyway, our time is really going very fast. But we have a video of, have you ever seen, people say, how can there be a biggest wedding? How can there be a biggest wedding? You have nothing to prove to anyone. But what if I tell you that there is actually a wedding that took place and they built the venue for the wedding from scratch? Would you believe that? Let's check out this video, the biggest wedding, some people call it.
People can, big businessmen, big brands can collaborate to do something like this here in Nigeria. Imagine the number of jobs that you would create.
They actually did a wedding in Nigeria.
Even if somebody comes to carry only one block, he would make a lot of money. You know.
They actually did an event, a wedding. This particular event, guys, did an event in Nigeria, but I'm not exactly sure if they built that venue. No, I think they did a construction, but it wasn't this. I mean, come on, for you to do this, you need money.
This, I mean, I don't think I would be mistaken if I talk about this in terms of millions of dollars.
Yes, of
yeah,
course.
Absolutely. If not up to $1 billion. Or billions of dollars, actually. I mean, this is quite massive. This is quite massive. This is like when you decide to build a stadium, and I'm talking about stadiums in the likes of them Santiago Bernabéu or the Old Traffords or Wembley. You know how massive these structures are, and the amount of resources it would take to put something like this together. So it's really, really a big project.
And again, time frame, they always put in work, because there was an event that these guys did, and it took them about 74 or 72 days, you know, to finish up just for the venue alone. So imagine someone contracts you and say, okay, I want to build my wedding venue from scratch. I have a land and all of that. So they come in, they look through, they survey, they do everything, and then they now start seeing what can be laid here. I mean, this is not something you just plan in 1 month of your wedding. This is something you're like, okay, if your wedding is next year, you're already planning it from this year, in fact, to say, okay, that, in fact, from maybe the other year, Seth, to start saying, okay, this is what I want to achieve. It's really massive.
Projects that would take years to plan for me, actually. But then again, you know what happens when you have money? When you have money, things work faster.
The problem is what?
Money.
The solution is what?
Money.
Okay, that's good.
And lots and lots and lots of it.
I mean, we would have to end the show this morning on a very high note, and I'm sure this video motivates you to work hard and work smart. I always tell people it's not about working hard. If it's about working hard, then the man who carries the block would have been so rich. So aside from working hard, you work smart and you pray to God to crown your efforts with success. But definitely not everyone will have billions and billions of naira in their account, but just have enough to take care of yourself, your immediate family, and some persons that might need your assistance. But keep faith alive, keep, you know, being very hopeful, and everything's going to be fine. That's so much we can take on the show this morning. Thank you for staying with us from 7 o'clock till this time. I really had fun, and I'm sure you had fun today. Today has been so great. My name is Cynthia Agbo. Do not forget that you can follow us on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube as well. And you can visit our website for more interesting content, and you can also live stream from anywhere in the world that you are. Our website is
www.rbnradiotv.com. Yesterday, I told you to stop bullying if you're a bully. So today, find a good hustle and put your hands to work. Ogochukwu Madimere is my name.
Kisses.
Adios.